Hello everyone. This is Tobi from the Phuket Meditation Center, and you're listening to the Dharana Meditation Podcast. Let's sit together, calm the busy mind, and explore topics concerning character development, meditative training, and deeper self-knowledge.
As usual, we begin by sitting upright, suspend the head from above. Let your body be relaxed at ease. Breathe in a way that feels good, that feels satisfying. Allow this moment and whatever experience unfolds within it to be exactly the way it is. There's nothing to change, nothing to fix. Just the natural outcome of all our past actions, behaviors, tendencies. Let your body, your mind naturally settle down by themselves. Sitting still, breathing comfortably, giving space. Breathing in, feeling the entire body. Let your mind spread out inside of the body. And as you're breathing out, softening, releasing whatever tension there may be. Whenever you find your attention moving out, moving to a sound or a thought, simply acknowledge that. And with the next breath, finding the body again. And notice how everything releases a bit as you breathe out. Most importantly, keep an open heart. Allow body and mind to be just as they are. As far as you can, abandon all sense of controlling or pushing yourself into a certain direction. Accept what's there. Give it space. Just staying with the main topic, breathing in, feeling the body, and breathing out. Notice how the body softens a bit. How unnecessary tension dissolves all by itself. You may notice that as soon as you go into controlling and resisting and pushing, pulling, fighting mode, it gets unpleasant, suffering flares up. As long as you remain open and allowing, understanding, the state remains calm, pleasant, easeful. There's no conflict with reality. Everything, including yourself, is allowed to be just as it is. Every now and then you notice another breath, feeling the body and softening as you breathe out. Now train yourself to know where your attention is, observing how your attention is moving from sound to sound, from sound to sensation, from sensation to sensation, from sensation to thinking, from thought to thought, back to feeling, hearing, thinking, simply knowing what is happening while it is happening, without interfering, without controlling any of it. Simply rest in this knowing state as an observer or witness to this moment. If the brain is thinking, you observe. Thinking is like this. Word after word, image after image. Thinking is like this. Maybe you notice feelings, some pleasant, some painful, some neutral. Simply know, feeling is like this, arising, changing, and passing all the time. Kind of like a weather that's inside of your body. We're not saying, oh, this feeling is good, you need to have this feeling. That feeling is bad, you need to abandon that feeling. Whatever it is simply just like this, and it's okay. There's nothing to do other than to know it. And then there's hearing, the experience of sound. Either the soundscape or single individual sounds, near or far, quiet or loud, continuous or sudden. Sound is like this.
Where is the attention right now? Where is it now? Where is it now? You'll find the attention is moving all by itself, from object to object, without any effort whatsoever, just following its nature. See if you can keep track of this movement. Hearing, feeling, thinking. If you like, you can be a bit more specific, but don't get too complex, such as aircon, fountain, elbow, right leg, complaining, waiting, hoping, disliking, liking, wanting, not wanting. Simply knowing what is going on while it is going on. In your own time, if you like, you can slowly come back and open your eyes, gently stretch a bit. All right, good morning, everyone. So today we have another question from Mel. She comments under the episode 395, How to Stop Thinking. So she says, how would you define overthinking? Say, when I listen to this talk, do I not reflect on the content afterwards because it is now in the past? Much appreciated. All right. So first of all, it's important to walk this path at the level of your current skill. If you hear a teacher tell you, well, just keep the mind empty, just have an empty mind. To some people, that's similar like, just be enlightened. Just stop suffering. Just stop being tense. Just stop it, right? And to some people, the instruction to maintain the mind empty makes perfect sense. It's exactly the right thing to do. So it depends very much where you're at on the path and what your capacity is, what your abilities are. If you're very, very much lost in your thoughts constantly, if that's you, if throughout the day you are talking to yourself in your own head, you're imagining, you're thinking about the future, the past, you have plans, you have worries, hopes, fears, and so on, then it is skillful to gradually reduce the amount of thinking. So let's define overthinking. Overthinking, I would personally define as any kind of thinking that is not beneficial. That would be overthinking. Let's say the very beginning of our path. I'm not talking the higher levels, I'm talking for a beginner, somebody that's just setting out to train to practice. What is overthinking for you? Then, well, I would say it is having thoughts that are just not beneficial. What is beneficial? Well, beneficial is anything that is leading towards the end of stress, the end of suffering. Non-beneficial is everything that increases suffering and stress. So for a lot of people, this practice would look like trying to have more skillful thoughts, better thoughts, thoughts that help you to feel less worried, to feel less stressed about life, thoughts that help you to come into the present moment, thoughts that help you to consider what is meaningful, what is wise, what is skillful, what should be done, what should be abandoned, and so on and so forth. There's very traditional reflections given in Buddhism, such as reflecting on the qualities of the Buddha, or reflecting on the qualities of the Dharma, reflecting on the qualities of the Sangha. This is to uplift the spirit. You can't just tell somebody that is profoundly depressed and constantly lost in their thoughts to just stop thinking. It doesn't work. It's like telling someone to, well, just meditate, who lives in a war zone. They have to duck bullets, they have to dodge bombs, they're constantly persecuted, constantly threatened. If you tell a person like this, well, I see you're pretty stressed, why don't you try some meditation? Yes, that's very unskillful advice. It's advice that does not match their current situation. Similarly, the advice to, for example, to just rest in the knowing quality, to just rest in Rigpa, or to rest in the experience of Dzogchen, or whatever, these kind of advice that people give, or just be in non-dual awareness. Why all the spiritual gymnastics? Just rest in the knowing. There's solid advice, so it's not wrong advice. But it's the wrong medicine for the wrong ailment, quite often, actually. Now, the skillful doctor's job would be, first of all, to determine, well, what's your ailment? What's your particular problem? What are you currently struggling with? And a lot of that is about finding out, well, what is it that makes your thoughts spin around so much? What are your fears? What are your hopes? Is it perhaps that you're not doing what you know you should be doing? Does that keep you on your toes all day long? Does that not allow you to sleep? Well, that could be remedied by gradually training yourself to do a little bit more of what you should be doing. That should reduce the amount of thoughts and worries and self-dislike and so on significantly. Are you perhaps, are you not doing what you should be doing, or are you doing what you should not be doing? Is it about abandoning some of the things that we do day by day that we know are not really good? Classic example is lying. Are you lying a lot? Well, that will interfere with your mental health. It will create conflict within yourself, a conflict between the higher self that wants you to rest in what is true, what is good, wants you to come to the light, and the lower self, which is driven by fear, which wants you to be as convenient as possible to get the most out of for yourself and so on. Depends where you're stuck. And we need to remedy it there. But we all know, we all have fears. We all have hopes connected to those fears. You can't just not have fear. In fact, one of the most common ways to deal with fear is what? Is exposure therapy. You have to actually confront the element of your fear gradually, and then learn from that gradual approaching that you're okay. It's not all that bad as your mind made it out to be. It's very practical. If someone is scared of snakes, then you need to have them come in contact with snakes. First, perhaps through a photograph. If they see a live snake and they're freaking out to a level where they cannot control themselves, their nervous system is taking over, it just doesn't work. They begin hyperventilating, they begin screaming. You cannot just tell a person like that to relax. It's like when someone is angry at you and you just tell them, well, just chill out, just relax. Without actually addressing their problem. It doesn't work that way. So we need to gradually do it, perhaps by watching a photo of a snake first. Maybe that is enough to freak them out. Then maybe a movie, like you watch a YouTube clip of snakes, and maybe you have to watch it from 5 meters away. Then gradually maybe 4 meters, then 3 meters, and so on and so forth until you can watch the movie close up. And the next step would be perhaps going to a house where you know in that house there are snakes, but you're not going in yet, and so on and so forth, until you can hold a snake. But throughout the entire process, you will be afraid, but you have to learn to do it anyways. That's the key here. Yeah? So you have to do it anyways. You have to do what is correct, while at the same time abandoning what is incorrect. Here, with the example of fear. The same goes for overthinking, thinking about things that are not meaningful. If you look at your day, just yesterday, the entire day, all 24 hours, what do you think? How many of your thoughts were not really necessary? Can you still remember how many thoughts you had yesterday? Can you remember about what you thought yesterday? So what percentage of that would you say you could live without? You could have done without those thoughts. How many of those thoughts that you had yesterday were actually your thoughts? And how many of those thoughts were things you've heard, things you've seen, things that happened outside of yourself, things that haven't happened yet, things that are already finished? How many of those things you thought about were beyond your control, such as future events or past events or other people and their opinion of you, what they are thinking of you, whether they like you or not? Is that in your control? Could you live without this thought? For example, the worry that other people may not like you. Could you do without that? Maybe you say no because that thought keeps me safe. It keeps me doing the right things. It keeps me acting socially appropriately. Fair enough. Might there be a version of that same thought that is slightly more skillful? Instead of worrying what other people think of you, could you turn that into, how could I be more of service to myself and others in this moment? How could I contribute to this moment in a more beautiful way, in a more helpful way? Would it be an appropriate replacement? I don't know. You have to figure this out. And for a lot of people, the practice is at this level. It's first to clean up the mess a bit. Make it a bit more so that you have an oversight, sorting yourself out. Figuring out what parts of yourself are worthy of abandonment. What can you abandon? And what parts of yourself are worthy of cultivating? What within you is good for yourself and others? And you could cultivate that. You could strengthen those qualities. How about kindness? How about compassion? How about the quality of patience and so on? Do you have those to some extent? I'm not saying do you have this at the same level that the Lord Buddha has those qualities, but do you have it to some extent? It's like you're going into the gym and I'm asking you, can you lift 200 grams versus can you lift 200 kg? Where are you at? What's your strength level? What can you lift? And is it good lifting that? Is it good to lift those qualities? Kindness, compassion. Would that be beneficial? Would it make your life better? If you were a little bit more in the service of what is good, what you know to be good, what your heart knows to be good, and a little bit less in the service what your heart knows to be bad. Because one thing that is quite impressive with human beings is we all have a moral compass. We all have a conscience. And if we transgress against that conscience, we suffer. We're living in conflict with ourselves. But what if you lived a little bit more in alignment with that conscience? Would you feel better? And I guarantee you, if you feel better about yourself, there is less thoughts in your head. You will not think that much. You only think a lot if you're really unpleasant in your body. You don't want to be in your body. You don't want to be here in this moment, empty and open, because it's really unpleasant due to all the many conflicts that we're having inside. So by removing those conflicts, a lot of this overthinking problem goes away. That's why the training of morality is given first. Almost, I think, in every major religion, that is the first topic. You train yourself to do good and abandon evil at whatever level you're at. That takes care of a lot of this overthinking problem. Are you somebody that likes to complain? Have you figured this out? You have to look into the mirror, yes? You have to see, what are your dark sides? What are your bright sides? You're looking into the mirror and you find, well, wow, I have a lot of problems when it comes to people pleasing. I have a lot of problems when it comes to worry. I'm a very angry person. I explode very easily. It just takes very little for me to go up in flames. Where are you? What are you like? What is your particular problem? What if you dealt with that? Are you somebody that complains a lot? Wherever you go, you dump your complaints. The weather. Can you believe it? It's raining. Oh my God. Oh, can you believe it? What happened to me last week? I ran into this mad guy who cursed at me or did whatever. And then can you believe it? Last month. I haven't seen you for last month. Oh, and did you read the newspapers? Oh my God. Yes, wherever we go, we just dump. We dump a load of dung right there for other people. It's not like a service that we're giving to the world. It's kind of like a disservice. Like wherever you go, you dump a bunch of dung. And then you go to the next room and you take another dump, kind of going from place to place, just dumping stuff that is not helpful. Is that you? You have to be really honest with yourself. That's why looking into the mirror, being very honest with it. Am I complaining a lot? What if I stopped that? What would happen? What if I decided to stop it and commit to stopping this complaining? Then what part in me would starve? Because I guarantee you, this complaining part of you that keeps something in you alive, some sort of personality that thrives on this complaining. Maybe you really enjoy when other people look at you kind of like, oh, poor you. Oh, come here, come. It's okay. Shh. It's all right. Maybe you enjoy that. I have a big part of myself that is precisely like that. When you offend me, for example, when you hurt my ego, then one of my proven methods of saving myself is, for example, to just appear very miserable then. Like I'll just quietly sit down and I let you know you've hurt me. And there's a hope underneath that. That hope is like, I want you to come to me and say, I'm so sorry, I took it too far. I'm a really bad person. I didn't mean to hurt you. Come here. Shh, it's okay. That kind of thing, I love it. Yes. So I have to be honest about that. I have to see, that's part of my mind here that thrives on complaining and presenting myself as a victim constantly. I'm a victim of my workplace. I'm a victim of other people. I'm a victim of the weather. Something in you enjoys that. And overthinking revolves around that persona. Thinking a lot. Me and my problems. Poor me. Can you believe it? It'd be totally foreign to me to not share my drama with everyone else. Completely foreign. But I guarantee you, if you were to approach it like the guy that's scared of the snake, gradually, incrementally, complaining a bit less, and encouraging yourself a bit more, that overthinking related to that persona that loves to complain will be reduced. So we have to not only understand the definition of overthinking here, the one that I gave you, this is just my own definition, but you have to also understand the causes of overthinking. What is nourishing overthinking? Thinking more than you should. What's the cause of that? Well, it's pretty simple. The cause of overthinking, what nourishes overthinking, is hope and fear. As long as you have hope, as long as you have fear, as long as you're going to think a lot about objects that are going to fulfill your hope and keep you from encountering your fear. So you will constantly manage your life. And that management process, that's what overthinking actually is. Overthinking is a managing process designed to keep you from experiencing your fears and to lead you towards experiencing what is familiar. Let's say it like that. What is familiar? I'm not saying what's pleasant, because a lot of people's overthinking doesn't necessarily revolve around pleasantries. It revolves around maintaining the status quo, maintaining their past sense of self. So that's what overthinking does. Maintains your sense of self and protects you, supposed to protect you, from danger. So overthinking will stop when there is no fear. thinking just drops. The moment you have no fear, the moment you have no hope, there's no need to think. Thinking is drastically reduced. The less fear you have, the more you are at ease within your body, within the present moment, right now, right here. There's just no need for the mind to think. You don't have to force your thoughts out of your head. They go if you understand their cause and you abandon the cause. So how do you get beyond fear? Well, practice the path. Upgrade your morality, abandon what is unskillful, cultivate what is skillful, practice meditation, stabilize your mind, enter ever more refined degrees of stillness and silence, and finally transcend yourself. Transcend your whole body-mind complex. Go beyond it. That's what the path is supposed to do. That's why there is religion. That's what all the founders, whether it's Christianity or Buddhism and so on, they have pointed to an experience of profound peace and liberation from all problems and suffering, or love, however you want to call it, the perfection of that. So this is how we get out of it. And how much you overthink and what topics you're overthinking about, you have to address those gradually, step by step. What are the topics? What's your mind revolving around all the time? What would you need to do to deal with the cause of that? It's very unskillful often to just tell people, well, just release your thoughts. See your thoughts, know them for what they are, and let go. You cannot just let them go because they have causes. And so this practice of seeing, knowing, let go, while being extremely powerful, it might not actually uproot the problem. It may just suppress it temporarily. But it'll just shoot right back up as soon as that very cause is stimulated by a condition. It fills your mind right away again. You might pacify it by releasing it temporarily, but if your release is not, if you don't understand what you are releasing into, and if you're not understanding the true nature of what you are releasing, it'll just keep popping back up. It's almost like a nice natural little reminder that, yep, you're still off. You're really good at suppressing, you're really good at managing it, but you're not actually transcending it. You have to cut the root. What you're doing right now is just cutting off the branches. Pretty good. That's good. You're cutting off branches, but they just keep regrowing. You'll be cutting infinitely. So these profound higher levels of letting go, they are a natural succession on the path for those who already have the basic understanding of what they're letting go, why they're letting go. They have all the right motivations in place. They're already governed by something that is higher. They're not still governed by the lower drives and then trying to just implement higher practices. It's common error. You have to address your problems where you're at. And I think a skillful teacher is perfectly able to point that out to you. That's why we all need a teacher. You can't do it by yourself. You can't just decide, oh, I'm going to attain enlightenment, going to read this book, going to watch a couple of YouTube videos, and I'm going to sit and meditate, just do what they tell me to do. Because you need someone to pop your bubbles. You need someone to put your face into the direction that you do not want to look at and address that. Because we don't do this to ourselves. It's one of the big reasons why we need a teacher. Okay, let's do a short revision. What is overthinking? Overthinking is basically holding on to thoughts that are not necessary, that are not beneficial, aka not leading to the goal of liberation, not leading towards love, towards enlightenment. And what is the cause of overthinking? Well, hope and fear, desire, craving, wanting, not wanting, being in constant conflict with reality, being in conflict with yourself, that causes overthinking. And so how do we remove it? By reducing the conflict to the point where you can eliminate it. But you have to first reduce it as much as you can, step by step. I suggest doing something small and tiny every day, a little bit better. And abandoning also something that you know I should abandon a little bit more each day. Start there. And then practice your meditation. More stable your mind is, the more pleasant it is, the less need for thoughts also. Yes. All right, that's all that comes to mind concerning this topic. Are there any questions? Yeah, stop overthinking.
On my way here, I forgot to close my window. So I thought about, when I'm here, maybe somebody could get into my place because it's on the ground floor. And he could steal my passport and stuff.
Yeah.
How would you address? Because I would just okay, then it is what it is. If I come back and it's gone. But there's still this subconscious mind that was
it's coming in still.
Yeah.
The Stoics have this saying, I think, if you can you do something about it? Good. Do it. Can you do nothing about it? Well, good. Just relax, right? In both cases, whether you can do something about it, and you do something about it, you relax. If you cannot do anything about it, well, relax, right? Here you did something about it. You made a decision to just stay. Perhaps turn it into a practice. At your level, maybe you're working with some deep-rooted fears of, losing your belongings, losing your identity, your passport, and so on. And you maybe decided, I'm going to take this into the path at my level. Fantastic. Can anyone do this? Would I recommend it to anyone? Is this a standard teaching? I would give no. But in your case, maybe that's the wise move to make, Okay, I could do something. I could go out, I could call and make sure that, or I could just die right now, right here. And deal with all the anxiety and so on by seeing clearly through it, understanding it's impermanent, it's not self, it's empty, and release. Find release even through the greatest challenges, so that even at the time of death, you'll be at ease. Because you're definitely going to lose your passport when you die. And so that's a little practice beforehand, right? So it depends what you decide to do here.
How near is your house?
How near is my house?
No, he's...
Mine? 25 minutes away.
Okay. Right. Yes. If it was just around the corner, what would you do?
Yeah. You could go through those thoughts as well, right? You could sit here, if it was just around the corner, what would I do? Or you could just abandon those thoughts. I mean, you do have plenty of experience with practice. I just suggest to see, no, let go, release. That doesn't mean you're just going head on into danger. That'd be foolish, right? You don't want to play with your life. But some things like this, I'd probably done the same. We'll just also sit here and go, like, a wonderful opportunity. We'll see if I can release through this and be at peace even through this. Because it pulls, right? It pulls on your heartstrings, your passport, it's your money, it's your stuff. It really pulls. So it's a higher level of practice. If you can't release it, then just call. I would also do this. If I just cannot, it's just too much to me, then better do something about it, because you're just wasting energy and time. Yeah. Yes.
I relate a lot to the overthinking portion of the conversation today. I'm from New York, and I have an organization that I founded in New York to support young women. And this happened 13 years ago, and I decided to do a sabbatical to give myself a little break.
Yeah.
And the first week was a nightmare for me. Like
Yeah.
the overthinking, feeling like I can't let go of my constant work as the founder of this organization.
Mm-hmm.
I was like holding on to control and trying to make sure that everyone was doing what they were supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And it was hurting me a lot. Hurting both, I think, and I think that they felt like you're supposed to not be. So that it was a lot of conflict, more emotional for me conflict, trying to let go. And I read about it, and so to have some compassion with myself that what I was going through was normal after being in overdrive for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been 3 weeks now. My first time in Asia. So the first week I was in Singapore. And now it's like I don't even want to look at an email.
Not yet.
So it went from I can't let go to now it's like I don't want to even read it. Like I don't even open my computer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in a position now where the team is doing their job.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. So I experienced that in the sense that I was overthinking every day. And now it's like I'm fine. I'm at peace with. But it took me this past 3 weeks to get
Great.
to that.
It's very good. Perfect example of exposure therapy. Yeah. You do the very thing that you're afraid of, which is to let go of control. And you just have to kind of stick to it, and it'll be super unpleasant. You do it anyways. It has the result to gradually make you calm, right? You're changing your environment, and change of environment is usually a very good move to make as well. Our environment is like an externalized nervous system. It's an outer brain. So what you do in your home, you're a certain way, like you're wired in a certain way. You're outside in a totally different country, and so there's no wiring yet, or very little. So that helps also to hop out of your old patterns a bit more fast. Good, well done. All right. Let's finish for today. Thank you very much for coming.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and had a meaningful time. For more information and upcoming events, head over to our website at phuket-meditation.com. Thank you very much for listening, and have a wonderful day.